And now they've decided the only way they can win an election is to offer free pharmaceutical care to anybody under 25. So think about this.
Free drugs.
Free drugs to under 25. How many folks under 25 need a lot of prescription medication? Geezers like me need prescription medication. I can pay for my own, thanks very much. But if you want a real pharma plan, offer pharma plan to people who don't have money and can't afford medication. There's a lot of them out there. There really is. This is just BS. This is just an election scam, typical of Wins Liberals, that we're going to offer this big free drug plan. Oh yeah, by the way, read the fine print. It's only for under 25. It's 24, I think. So when you're 26, you're off the list. Most people who are 25 don't have kids yet, don't have significant health problems yet. I mean, they're still in the warranty period of life where you can pretty much abuse your body 24/7, and you're not going to need drugs. It's people that are 50, 60, 70, 80 that need meds. It's young families with kids who need free meds. That would be a real pharma plan. This is just bullshit to make people try to vote for these bozos again. Yeah. Rant.
The what?
The chick that climbed the crane in Toronto. You didn't see this yesterday?
No.
I had to pull some 23-year-old off of one of these big construction cranes, but I'm talking like not just up the crane. This little girl, 23 years old, managed to get all the way up the crane, out the boom, shinnied down the cable, and sat on the big block that they lower stuff on. So the Toronto fire guys had to go out and get her. And one of the Toronto fire guys went, when I have time, I want to talk about how she did that, because I can do it with like safety harnesses and rappelling gear and everything else. She did it free climb. No safety gear, no nothing. Then she just sat there for 4 hours, and they ultimately had to rescue her. So I'm going, you know, collectively 20, 30 grand of taxpayers' dollars, not to mention the safety of these good men and women who had to climb out there to get this chick. And now they're saying that there's a little bit more to the backstory, that apparently on social media, and I haven't seen the social media bit yet because I was busy suing guys this morning, but apparently the social media bit is that she's done this for a stunt. This isn't her first rodeo. And it's interesting because, you know, she's somewhat attractive. I mean, she's diminutive. She's 23. She's not a, you know, a pleasant looking girl. And she's staying mum right now. But I'm getting the impression that this was done perhaps for a little bit of self-aggrandizement as opposed to just, I'm having a bad day, I'm going to climb a crane and maybe jump and kill myself. I don't think that's what this is all about. So, you know, I don't know. Too much look at me stuff, says the guy with the YouTube channel.
Well, but if you're not actually making people spend $30,000.
No, it's voluntary. No, it's voluntary. They come to me, they have the choice. They can say walk away.
Yeah.
But personally, I think that maybe the Toronto Fire guy should have went, you get yourself up there, you get yourself down. You know, like the cat up the tree, right? Well, stay there for a while if you want. I would have personally given her at least a day or so to decide if she was really having a good time. And if she started to get shaky, toss her a roll of duct tape and say, well, you can secure yourself. We'll be back in a day or two. Oh, by the way, up here it's going to rain tonight. Having fun now?
Yeah.
Instead of jailing her, and, you know, they're prosecuting her now for probably public mischief, I would imagine.
Which is also more tax dollars.
Yeah, because now we'll run her through the system, and she'll get more of her Andy Warhol publicity, and, you know, she'll play this up, and, you know, anyway. Now we're being unusually healthy this morning. Normally I don't drink this kind of stuff. Coffee Warehouse, amazing juices. They juice everything. I'm trying to get them to juice Krispy Kremes and foie gras. Let's see how that works out.
We got some questions on your YouTube channel, and to protect the person,
the
innocence, yeah.
No name.
We're only going to use first names.
Okay, first names.
So this one is from Sarah, and she says, "Please help me. My husband and I separated 3 weeks ago, and we have a 2-year-old little girl who has never been away from me for more than a couple hours at a time. Last weekend, he convinced me to let him take her for a visit on Saturday, but now he refuses to bring her back. I called the police, and they say they can't help me. How can he do this, and what should I do?
Police officer is right. They can't do anything for you because there's no court order to enforce. We'll talk a little bit about that later. Your immediate problem is that when folks separate, our law says that each biological parent has equal rights to the children unless there's a court order or a separation agreement that says differently, or unless one of the parents has allowed the children to remain with the other either with their express consent or their implied consent. For example, if he had moved out a year ago, left your daughter with you, hadn't seen her very much, there would be what we call de facto custody for you, but that hasn't happened. You've only been separated for 3 weeks, so there is no de facto custody situation. He's taken her, he's withheld her. You need to bring an urgent motion under the family law rules. You need to bring this in front of a judge now. You can serve it fast. You can get in front of a judge fast. You don't need to wait for a case conference. Issue your application, bring your motion. A judge will order the return of your child. We'll probably put some access in place so you're both seeing your daughter, unless there's some compelling reason why he shouldn't. This will ultimately bite him in the derriere because he shouldn't have done this, and courts don't like self-help. So the short answer, urgent motion, issue your application, get it in front of a judge right now. Don't let this status quo continue. You let this run for several weeks, you'll establish a status quo that won't be good for you.
Next, we have from Jake. I dated a guy named Jake.
Jake? Ted, don't listen. Ted's Timmy, so don't listen. We're not going to talk about Jake anymore.
He says, "What
the hell?" He was fat and bald, wasn't he? Yeah, he was fat and bald.
Yeah.
I remember that guy.
He says, "What the hell? I got served by some guys called Fro with papers saying they're going to take me to jail for child support." What the?
One of those, the WTF. Didn't know what that meant for a while. My 10-year-old explained it.
Yeah. He said, like, debtor's prison is gone, dude, right?
No.
They're just yanking my chain, right?
No. And if you don't deal with them, you are going to find out that prison still exists for not paying in the case of child and spousal support. It's the only way in our system you can go to jail for non-payment of money. You can't go to jail for non-payment of money in any other circumstance except child or spousal support that's being enforced by the Family Responsibility Office. They do have the power to commit you. It is specified in their statute and in the family law rules that they can do that. They've served you. They want you to tell them about your economic circumstances. They want to see financial disclosure. You better cooperate, or you will go to jail and meet all kinds of new hairy friends who will become your proctologist. So you need someone to look at this because it suggests to me that they've been serving you and you've been ignoring them. They've been sending you requests for payment and information. You've been ignoring them. You probably haven't given them a financial statement. You probably haven't shown them your tax returns. You probably haven't shown them your pay stubs. You probably can't get any money at your bank account or your employer. So now they're getting serious, and yes, they will put you in jail. I saw a nice guy not too long ago who just went for 30 days in Mimico, and it was not a day at the beach, and he met some new friends that he didn't like very much.
Next we have Larry, and he says, "Peter, I have a situation. I met this girl in a bar. Things got warm."
That doesn't happen, does
no,
it?
never.
Chicks in bars, really.
That's where I met my husband.
Oh, that's where you met Jake.
No, he says, "We go back to my place. I grab the raincoats."
Oh, it's going to play in the rain. You got to wear a raincoat.
Yes,
Yeah.
but she told me again and again she could not have kids and hated sex with latex. That rhymes.
No sex with latex. I guess she didn't have a boob job then. Okay.
I'd tell her to do it herself.
Well, the priest told me that was a mortal sin, so I stopped.
He goes on to say, "I had a few scotch in me, so thought, what the hell? Well, guess what? She calls me a month later and tells me that I'm going to be a daddy, and I freaked. I asked her, what about, I can't have kids, yada, yada, yada. She told me she lied. Like, I don't have to pay for this kid now, do I? I'm losing it here."
Yeah, well, you want to play, you got to pay. Our Ontario courts actually recently dealt with a situation even worse than yours, Larry. Two doctors were dating in their mid-40s, I think, and she, being a doctor, represented very clearly to him, a doctor, that she was medically incapable of having children, and they chose to have unprotected sex. I think they even went so far as having tests done to make sure that they had no communicable diseases. And they were in a brief relationship, and she became pregnant, and she lied to him. He went so far as trying to sue her for misrepresentation and all these other sorts of things to recover the amount of money he would have to pay in child support because she basically duped him. And long story short, our courts have said, you want to play, you got to pay. If you are the biological daddy of this new bundle of joy, and it sounds like you are, then you are going to pay guidelines child support based on your income. It doesn't matter if she tricked you, lied to you, fooled you, if she was a lady of the night who you met on a street corner. If you conceive this child with her, it is yours and you will pay. Now, there's a possibility it's not your child. You do have the right to have a DNA test done. You have the right to determine if you're the biological father. If you're not the biological father, you have no financial responsibilities. If you are the biological father, even if you never see little Larry for the rest of his life, you will still be required to pay for so long as he qualifies as a dependent child under the Family Law Act. Ouch. You want to play in the rain, you got to wear a raincoat.
Awesome. Well, that's all we have for today.
Well, that's it. Well, that's a good Friday morning. So,
Yeah.
now I'm going to finish drinking my juice and figure out if maybe we can stick that Krispy Kreme in here and maybe a little shot of cognac or something. And listen, folks, we enjoy answering these questions. Tammy now is going to have to go home and explain Jake to her husband. That's okay. I always told Ted that I'd act for Tammy free in the divorce, and we have a healthy respect for one another, and we're just joking about Jake. Look, so we like answering questions. Questions need to be answered. It's a pleasure to do that. We like to offer free consultations to anybody. You're free to contact us over YouTube, over Facebook, through the website. Call any of the offices. Everybody gets a free consult, and happy to answer all your questions.